Hi, I'm Kristina.
And I'm Daniella.
And welcome to Unwritten Curriculum, the podcast where we talk about what it's like to be a teacher while also being a human and all things that come with both.
We're two platonic high school sweethearts about to enter our second decade of friendship and wrapping up our first in the teaching profession. Thanks for joining us.
All right, in today's episode, we are talking all things money. People are always saying, oh wow, you're so lucky, you're a teacher, you get summers off. That is true. We do not get paid in the summer, at least most teachers do not. So that can really throw a wrench into a 6-week-long vacation. So today we're going to talk all things money and share some tips, along with Rita, who definitely has a job, so definitely has something to contribute to this conversation.
She has to make biscuits.
Daniella, how are you?
I'm good. It's been a great long weekend so far. Went to Palm Springs yesterday, went to Modernism Week. I didn't know that this was a thing. Also, apparently I'm a fan of modernism. And got to go to all of our favorite spots, got to go to some new spots. Shout out Billy Reed's. We didn't go this time, although I know you love that spot.
I was going to say.
And I feel like it's going to be a nice week. The weather's going to be good. It's going to be sunny.
This is also the first time we're recording the podcast with cameras, so...
All of a sudden, they're everywhere.
This is like not normal behavior for either one of my cats. So we're going to see how it goes. I think it's natural. We're not like regular podcasters.
I am so allergic to cats.
We're cats.
Fine. We're fine. Kristina, how are you?
I am doing good. I had a question about where did you go when you were in Palm Springs?
So we started our morning at 7:30 in the morning. Actually, we were here. We parked here.
What? Oh, wow.
Because the boys came here and then I met them here and we drove the way to Palm Springs. And then we went to this one spot and I'm going to figure out where we were. But it's basically just a really beautiful... We went to Agua Caliente, the Palm Canyon Trail.
Yeah, that's what I was...
I'd never been there before, so we went there and did a little hike, saw a little waterfall, went down, saw all the palm trees, and then went to the Sackley Chase House, which was really cool, and saw this incredible home with all of the mustard accents, and the homeowner was there, and it's a married couple. And they have a dog named Grace. And they also have their, like, architecture and, like, furniture business as well. And the previous owner was also there. It was very cool. And then we went to brunch. I got a club sandwich. No, I got a BLT. And then we went to the Fleet Trading Post.
And now she's eating roses.
So it was just like a day of shopping, got back in the car at 4 and got home at 6 and yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Modernism Week, not what I was calling it,
Minimalism
Week.
Minimalism Week.
Which is a different week in Palm Springs.
It is definitely almost Maximalism Week.
Yeah. Cool. And what are you having for lunches this week?
Lunches this week, I'm doing like a turkey Swiss roll-up with arugula and Quest the nacho cheese chips. Oh. Because I really have been wanting sandwiches, so I got the spinach and herb. And so that's been the tortillas, so that's going to be yummy. And yeah, I'm like looking forward to not having soup this week.
Yeah.
It's now that it's going to be regular.
Now it's regular temperature?
It's going to be regular temperature.
Soup is a rain food.
Soup is a cold food when I need to like be like, oh, I'm cozy in my classroom, but now I don't want to be cozy. I got to be warm. Up and going.
It's hot. It was straight up hot yesterday. I went on a walk and I was like, we were sweating.
Yeah. I started the day off with a like a turtleneck and a denim dress, which I got with the one that I sent you. And then by 10 a.m., the turtleneck had come off and it was wild. And you had your Valentine's Day dinner?
Yes. We had our Valentine's Day dinner. We went to Sushi Eye. Shout out Sushi Eye.
Sushi Eye?
In Los Feliz. It's the best sushi restaurant in LA. I think, personally.
She said it. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
folks.
You heard it here first. Plus, it's very easy to get a table there, and you can go anytime. And they have a good happy hour. So, yeah, we did that, and then we tried to go to the Dresden, which is a jazz bar in Los Feliz. But they did not have jazz. They were just having dinner. And so we walked in, and it was sad.
Quiet?
It was quiet, yes. And all their tables were full, and the bar was full. And so we went to High Tops.
Which is
the exact same vibe as the Dresden, except for not at all. But it was still very fun. And then for lunches this week, I am having, no surprise, because I have some version of a salad every week. But this time, it has chicken sausage in it, which...
This is wild.
It's a big reach out, I would say. So, that's where I'm at.
Wow. And then what are you teaching? What are you reading?
So, personally, I just finished a book that's called Sandwich, and it's by Newman. And it was on a list on, like, Libya's, I don't know, it was on a bestsellers list. And I was like, okay. And I read the description. It was like, family trip to a beach house, a mother's reflection on life. And I was like, not really my vibe. But then I just kept thinking about it, and it was only 6 hours. And
okay.
I decided to listen to it. And it's definitely one of those books that is a window rather than a mirror, which is a term that I, like, learned about through teaching. So there are books that are mirrors that, like, reflect your own experience, and you're like, oh my god, I feel seen. And then there are books that are windows that give you a, like, insight into other people's experiences.
Okay.
And this is a window book because it is about a 55-year-old woman with adult children who's going through menopause and her experiences of being a mom, and also her experience of fertility and menopause.
Yeah, definitely a window.
Okay, but then I was like, this is so wild. But then I was finishing yesterday and I was crying. I was like, oh my god. Just it. It's good. It's really well written, and it's only 6 hours.
Okay.
You're not investing too much time.
Okay. All right.
Share with us your goal for this week.
So as I was listening to episode 4 yesterday on our drive back to LA after Palm Springs with the boys. It was the talk about organize your Google Drive. And I was like, no, yeah, for sure, organize your Google Drive. Daniella, my Google Drive, it's messy. It's not clean. I try, and then it doesn't go well. So this is my school goal of the week. I'm going to take some time during my preps this week to organize my Google Drive.
I love that. See, getting inspired by my teacher trips. I actually went and looked at my Google Drive after we had that conversation. And there was a couple files.
It needs some tidying up.
I was like, there's a couple. I'm not even listening to my own advice. So there's a couple files that I had to put in their proper place.
Yeah. And then I was re-listening to Happy Drive, Happy Life. And then that can be taken as so many different things. I said it, and then I forgot what I had said, and I was listening to it, and I was like, yes, it can work.
Yes, it can work, but it also could mean something else.
Yeah, it can.
You know what I'm saying?
It definitely can.
My mom was talking to me about one of our episodes. My parents, I saw them yesterday, and they were talking about the episode 3, I guess it is. So maybe it is Happy Drive, Happy Life. I don't know if it's that one, but the one where we talk about, like, the shitstorms of us growing up. And my parents were talking about the many faces of meth.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, I don't think we were told that was going to happen.
Yeah, not in 2025.
And yeah, and I was like, that's crazy. And I was like, do you think you were not told, or do you think you just don't remember? And she was like, knowing my experience with drug education in school, I probably wouldn't have made you do it. I probably would have had you not go.
Wow.
She's like, I'm assuming I wasn't told. And I was like, that's crazy, because if that were to happen now...
You need release forms. Yeah. You need consent. You need to be like, hey, we're going to tell your child about this. Look at Annie right now. You can't see her on the camera, but maybe she'll turn around. We have a joke that she's Batman, because she's not mad right now. She's really not.
But you could interpret it as mad. I'm going to take a picture. Okay, so my healthy teacher tip is don't be afraid to ask for what you want, because you deserve to you deserve to at least have a conversation about it. And this came up because I'm thinking about, like, my future in teaching and, like, what I want to do, and I always feel bad if I'm like, I want to make a change. Like, if I'm like, I want to try a different grade level, a different position, I feel bad, like, asking for that. And then I've just been having some thoughts this week, and I was like, why do I feel bad for asking for my own development, my own growth? Mm-hmm. And it's not like I'm demanding it. It's like, I want to have a conversation. My tip is, if you need something from your bosses, or you want to grow in a particular way and you're interested in it, like, it's okay to say, this is something I'm interested in. Let's entertain this conversation. Because if you don't, then people aren't gonna be thinking about it. They don't know what's in your head.
The worst that could happen is, like, they say no.
Yes.
And then it's okay, but I'm really passionate about this, so maybe I need to figure out a different way to get there, or whatever it may be. But no, I agree with that. And I think I definitely feel that way. When I got to the school I'm at, I immediately knew I wanted to take over student government, like when it was my chance. And so I made that known. So when the time was right, it was like, do you want it? And I was like, where did you get that idea
that's
from?
so crazy. I haven't been thinking about that for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. The worst that could happen is someone says no, then you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm still going to try.
Yeah, exactly. And the worst, and then you decide, am I happy in the position I am now? Or am I going to try and do this somewhere else?
Is there growth room for me here?
Yes.
And so then you can make moves.
Yes.
That's very nice.
What about a recipe?
So we are going to enjoy this meal tonight. It is a lasagna that I grew up having. My mom makes her lasagna a very specific way. And so I'm very excited to eat it. I had been like craving lasagna. Also, I had ricotta that I didn't even end up using. I made a lemon ricotta olive oil cake for the Super Bowl, which was very good. And I didn't even end up using the ricotta.
Oh, wow.
So now I still have ricotta.
Oh.
Maybe I'll make another lemon olive oil ricotta cake.
For the next event. Okay, I'm excited. I'm going to enjoy that lasagna, so.
Tune in to next week to see if it was good or not.
Yes. Okay, let's dive into our main topic. I am so excited about this conversation that we're going to have because I think it's something that's just not talked about enough as adults, and I feel like as teachers, we just are expected to be like, oh, you have a low salary and you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And I think plenty of young adults are like in that same situation. So what we've done is we have written lists of roses and thorns when it comes to summer saving, and I think just finances in general.
Finances as an educator.
And so we're going to share some of those with the hopes of helping some of you all out who might be in a situation where you're like, I am in my job for the first time and I'm looking how to save money, or I want to change up my personal finance strategies and goals. And yeah, hopefully we can share some things.
I am not good at my finances, and I think as I've gotten older and as we've had more difficult conversations, I've been better, and I know I still have to make changes. So a lot of the things that like you're sharing today are things that I need to do. But what I will say is that I might be a little bit more silent this episode because I am still learning, but the things that I have learned have been very helpful and have saved my ass.
Yeah.
Because I travel in the summer.
Yeah.
And if I don't have money, I am not traveling in the summer.
Yeah. And I think it's so hard. And even for me, I think I was not good at managing money. I'm not an expert by any means, but it was something that like I had to try and figure out on my own.
Yeah.
And I think you have this in the notes. We become adults and you get a job, and a lot of times you don't know about personal financing and budgeting. And my kids say this to me all the time. They're like, Miss, why don't we learn about money in school? And the only class you have is high school econ. And I don't think they teach you budgeting in high school econ.
No, they don't.
I was talking to a friend recently and she's like, yeah, they teach you supply and demand, but that's not actually helpful when it comes for most people.
That has nothing to do with me and my personal real life.
Yeah.
As an adult.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, we're both still learning, but we're excited to share the tips that we do have because we have had almost 10 summers where we've had to make it work. And then just really quickly, so for me, at my school, we get paid 11 months out of the year. That's the same for you?
Yep.
Okay.
And however, 11 months out of the year, I get paid once a month.
Yes.
As well.
So you get paid once a month, 11 months out of the year.
Once a month, 11 months out of the year. I have never been paid every 2 weeks.
And do you have an online system where I know you get one pay stub? Is there a place, can you log on to check?
We entered the high-tech world of online pay stubs 2 years ago. However, before that, it was you got one pay stub and that was it.
It's crazy.
And
so it was like they were just doing direct deposit. Like you could not check.
You had no online way, and there's no way to read your pay stub. Nothing makes sense on it. My pay stub still says that I have 3 days and 48 minutes of personal leave left, and that is not right. Like I have so many days. I have so many days of leave left. So like our money stuff is very messed up at my district, and it's not great, and I have no way of knowing what anything means.
Yeah, that's really difficult. And I think it's probably just depend. They haven't invested in a system that will
There's no way.
track it.
There's no way.
At my first school, I saved all my paychecks. I got physical paychecks. I think we had an online portal, but I don't even know if I didn't log on to it.
Yeah.
At my school now, and then when I worked at another school, it's always been online, and you can log in and check things. But yeah, we get paid 11 months out of the year, twice a month. So on like the 15th and the 30th.
So saving can be very different for both of those.
Yes. And I know friends who work at other districts that they get paid 12 months out of the year. Yeah,
Oh my
LAUSD
gosh.
pays 12 months out of the year.
We had a 12-month employee, and she left a few years ago. She was the last 12-month employee that was, like, left at our school.
Well, and so these, like, teachers are technically 11 months employees there still, but what they do is they just spread the paycheck out over 12 months, which why is that not something that can be done easily everywhere? I don't understand. But
That's one of my, so we can get into it, because
Yes.
that's one of my roses is learning about the credit union, and they have the summer saver plan, and that's what they'll do for you. And you, like, that doesn't, and I don't know the terminology for it, but I learned that it doesn't mature until August 1st of 2025. I'll have access to it if I want the full paycheck.
Oh, okay.
So if I want that full lump sum, then I have to wait. I cannot pull out of it.
Oh, cool.
Which is really nice. And then it's an easy transfer. But every year I up it a little bit more because I move along in the ranks of the salary. I up it, my income, I'm sorry, like how much I put into it. So,
And so is that you communicated that bank account information with your school and they take it out?
that's, yeah, because the credit union is like
With the school.
with the school
Yeah.
district. So I don't even, the paycheck that I get, like, I don't even know that it's been taken out. It's pre-taken out, all of that stuff. And so that's been really nice to have. And then I looked into it because I do get interest on it. And I learned that. And I looked to see how much it was. I already did my DAC taxes. So, like, I saw how much money I made off of that.
So it's like a high yield savings account essentially.
Yeah. Essentially it is. Which I'm going to learn about today because I'm going to open one.
Yes. That's really cool. I know, so I have always worked for a charter school, so we don't have a credit union that's like specific for our school. So when I tried to do the summer saver, it was like I would have to do all of my banking through the credit union, and then it would do that. And it was just like way too complicated at the time. It's not that complicated to move your bank over to a new one, but I was like, no, I want to stay with Bank of America.
Yeah.
So I didn't end up using it. But yeah, essentially, like, it's doable with other credit unions. And the credit union, California Credit Union, is the credit union that I've worked with, and that's for any public employee, education employee. Okay. So even if like you wanted to, or someone else at a different school wanted to, if they didn't have a credit union, they could go through California Credit Union. Very cool. I'll share, related to that, high yield savings accounts. High yield savings accounts, essentially, you're putting your money in the savings account and they are giving you a percentage back that's higher than a traditional savings account. So a traditional savings account is, if you have a savings account with Bank of America, when you open up your account, it's like 0.4%. Up to 1% is like the highest. High yield savings account can be anywhere from 3.5 to 5%.
But, like, how can they do that?
So essentially what they're doing is that you put the money in there.
Yeah.
They're borrowing that money from you
Got
and
it.
investing it.
Okay.
Or using it to invest in their own company. But it's not an investment account where the value changes.
Yeah.
You're still guaranteed that money.
Okay.
And it's basically an instant transfer, like when you're wiring between banks.
Right, yeah. Okay.
So if I put money in my high yield savings account, I transfer from my Bank of America into that. I leave it there. If I need to take money out, I totally can. I can do it immediately. But because I'm wiring between institutions, it takes 3 days. But if I had a checking account with your Laurel Road, is who I use, it would go immediately.
Got it.
So I really like Laurel Road because they have, right now it's 4% that you get back every year. But at some points it's been, when I started it was like almost 5%. Okay. But then the interest rates have gone down. So it's lower or up. I don't know if they've gone down or up. But the interest rates are not good. It's not good.
Right
so
now
went
it's
down.
not good.
Yes. So it's still 4%. But there's another compared to like other banks that do it, like SoFi, it's a little bit higher. And a good example, or I thought this was like a good way to illustrate it, is if you take $1,000 every year or every month and put it into a high yield savings account, at the end of the year, you would have made almost $500 in interest.
Okay.
It's like money that you wouldn't have earned otherwise. So I suggest a high yield savings account, maybe in addition to a summer saver if you're doing a summer saver, or if you can't do a summer saver, in replacement of a summer saver.
Yeah, the summer saver is right now is my saving grace, and I know I have a really hard time saving like for more than one thing. So as long as that summer saver is taking the money and I don't even see it, then I can save for the other things that I want. And unfortunately, that's how I am, where I just like, I need one thing to focus on at a time.
To go off what you're saying, though, I get what you're saying. Like, it's really hard to be like, I'm saving for summer, but I'm also saving for my vacation, and I'm saving for this and that. Like, it's...
And I'm also trying to live right now. Like, we primarily eat at our houses, right? We don't really eat out. And so groceries are expensive right now.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of life. So I need to be a little bit more conscious about my budgeting and my grocery budget. I went to the grocery store yesterday to get my regular stuff and get stuff for the lasagna stuff. It was $150.
It's outrageous right now. It is outrageous right now.
I'm not gonna sacrifice my health and go to El Pollo Loco and spend $30 on chicken because it's easier. No, like I need my groceries. I'm not gonna budge on that.
Yeah. No, I know. It's so frustrating. What was I gonna say? Oh, something that's interesting is that they don't do this with Laurel Road, but I know that SoFi does it. So SoFi allows you to create different buckets in their high yield savings account. So you could say, like,
feed into them.
You can feed into it. This is my vacation. This is my that.
Yeah.
Which I really like the idea of, especially if I am budgeting and I have money left over and I'm like, okay, what do I want to do with that money? But their percentage wasn't as high.
Yeah.
So I ended up...
Got it.
I opened a SoFi account and then I was like, what?
Close the SoFi.
I didn't even close it. It's just sitting there. And that's the other thing, is you don't even have to close these accounts. It doesn't charge me. They're not charging me anything. So maybe I'll use it one day, but for now it's not.
Yeah.
Do you want to share another? Do we want to go rose thorns, or do we want to do rose?
I think, keeping on with the roses, I think I really benefit as a human being by having real adult conversations, and I feel that when we have our tacos and I can have those open talks with you guys about what's going on in life, not just the good stuff, but also the stuff that I'm having a hard time with. And I know finances have always been something that I hold a lot of shame with, and being able to talk through it in an honest way has been very healing for me. And so that's been really nice, especially with, which is my thorn, which we'll get to, but I have student loans that I'm paying off. And especially now with the question mark of what is happening with the Department of Education and all of the loans, like, we don't know what's going on. My TikTok is going off about what everyone should do. So being able to have healthy dialogue has been very helpful, and having your community of people.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I think, like, with that, knowing that most people are probably going through some sort of struggle, because I don't think this was something that us as a friend group and with our other friends, we were talking about that much in our early 20s. And I think part of that is because your early 20s, your thoughts are other places, but also because this shame, right?
Yeah.
It was like having a lot of shame.
Yeah.
And I know I had very similar feelings and still do around, I'm not as financially good as other people, or I don't make as much money, or I'm struggling with this or struggling with debt. And then you start talking to people and you're like, oh wait, turns out everyone is struggling, and not even just teachers.
Yeah,
like,
man.
A lot of people who have very different jobs struggle in different ways.
Yes.
So yeah, I agree, having those conversations and not having your cat in the video. Yeah, so that's really good. I can share my other rose then. So a really big thing for me that has changed my understanding of personal finance and like what I know about my personal finance is tracking what I'm spending every week and every month, and like doing it using a budget template. And this is something that I started at the beginning of last year and the beginning of 2024. Because I was interested in paying off some debt that I had, and it was something I saw my mom do when I was growing up. Like, my mom would sit and
balance her checkbook.
100%. My mom, I talked to my mom about this recently. She used to get really mad if my dad would throw away receipts because she would go through, let's say she has a receipt from Home Depot or Target, it's a better example. And, okay, the total is $100 from Target. She would go through and be like, okay, this first item is milk. Not $10, I don't know. $1.50 for milk.
Yeah.
Milk is a grocery on her budget. Okay, the next item is a hammer. This is home improvement. And she would break down, itemize each item on her receipts.
Sure, what?
She doesn't do that anymore, she told me. And I don't do that because that's a lot.
Huh?
But what I have learned, I tried to use like Quicken for a while.
Okay.
And I've tried to use like budgeting apps that will do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found the most helpful is like I bought a budget template from someone I saw on Instagram, and we'll link it in the show notes. And going through every week, sitting down and looking at my bank account information, like my statement, and actually plugging it into the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And all it is like the date, the expense, the category.
Yeah.
And then it does all this spreadsheet math for you.
You got circles everywhere.
And circles, and it'll tell you.
Bar graphs.
Yeah. And doing that has been so helpful. And honestly, last year, for the whole entire year, I tried to stick to a budget, but I just like, it was my first time really doing this. I just committed to doing it every week.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the year, I had so much knowledge and information about where my money was going.
Yeah.
And that set me up to make really good plans and goals for this year.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot. Like, that's a lot to undertake, and it's so worth it when you start doing it.
I would be interested in if I could have it be like a quick thing. I'm thinking about me right now, 2025. I have completely stopped using Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that was a really big life sucker. Oh, I need this for my classroom. Oh, I found this thing that I could really use for this curriculum, whatever it may be. Now that I've cut that out, I would be really interested to see what my spending is like.
Yeah. I would definitely suggest it. And this budget template I have in here is great. And so, like, it really doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
I would say I'm spending for sure less than 20 minutes a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
We get back, and I'm interested to know if you guys have anything like this, but if you're a member of the PTA at my school, you get $20 per class that you teach at the end of the year if you can provide receipts for things that you bought for your class. So I teach 6 classes, as I'm able to get reimbursed $120 back from things that I spent on my classroom, and that like always goes to Teachers Pay Teachers.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. That's actually like to transition, because I think those are my 2 roses, but to transition into my thorns a little bit, I guess I have one more rose, but I can come back to that. To transition into my thorns a little bit, one of the things that I feel like is really hard as a teacher, but we got to try and not fall into, is like not buying stuff for your classroom that you don't need. And I feel like as teachers, it's just put in the media that like teachers spend their own money on their classroom. And yes, we do spend our own money on our classroom. And that's not always good. That's not always like, it's not good at all. Like, we shouldn't have to. But then also, like, sometimes I feel, oh, I should buy my students this thing, or I want my classroom to be cute for this thing. And it's like, I just shouldn't.
When you think about other jobs and they need something, they go to a supply closet and then someone handles it for them. Mm-hmm. And we have a closet like that only one person has the key to. But if I need something for my classroom, for my kids, I, as a public school teacher, cannot say, hey, you need to go buy this thing. Mm-hmm. I need to be able to provide it.
Yeah.
And so I, a lot of times at the start of the school, will ask for donations. Yeah. And I put the donation link in my Instagram this year, and we had so many people from our gym who donated stuff to me, and I was able to give all of my kids their composition notebooks. Mm-hmm. And they didn't have to think about it, which was great. But Expo markers, Post-it notes, staples, paper clips, things like that, I have to buy myself a lot of times.
Do you guys get any budget as a teacher?
We do, as a department.
Oh, okay.
As a department, you have to come up with what you're going to spend that on, but it can't be on like, it's very specific on what you can buy. You can't buy curriculum. You can't, nothing like that. Mm-hmm. So I remember one year, special ed, we bought like the thick boy binders, but we're very limited. We get free paper.
Yeah, we do too.
And I know that in the past when we were younger, teachers only got a certain amount of it, if you remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, we get a budget, which I'm really grateful for. In the past, my budget a lot of it has gone to buying books. But now we've changed curriculum, so I don't need to buy books. It's like we're provided with class sets. So we do get a budget, and I'm really lucky for that. But again, same thing. My kids they don't come with anything.
No.
There are no pencils, no nothing. Most of them, so we have to provide everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the teachers do the Amazon link, donors choose. I did a donors choose this year.
Yeah.
When I went back into the classroom. It just got fully funded. I only had one person I know personally donate to it.
That's really nice.
Yeah, so just people online just donated to Donors Choose. And I got like stools for my classroom. And I was like, wow, people are great.
The general public is very aware of the shit end of the stick that teachers get. Mm-hmm. They are. It's the people who are up top who don't care.
Yeah.
And who aren't going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
But the people that we live amongst and the people interact with every day, they know, and they can joke and say, oh, but you get summers off, but they don't mean that.
Yeah.
They know that we go to work every day and deal with 13, 14-year-old attitudes, and
yeah. And a lot of people are willing to donate. They want to help you out personally, so
yeah. That's really nice. Yeah. One of my thorns right now for my finances and the finances of teachers is my loans. I'm doing the public service loan forgiveness plan, which is making 120 payments and then your loans are forgiven.
Is it for any teacher, or is it because you teach special education?
No, public service, I teach at a public school, but then there are other ones for other teachers if you teach in like a Title I.
Yeah, I know there's a Title I.
There's a lot of different ones. Right now, I think I'm at like 68 payments and I have to make 120 or like 75 or something like that. I am set to finish, I think, in 4 years. Whatever is going on right now is freaking me out, and everybody on TikTok is do this thing, but one girl was telling me,
she was communicating with
we were
you.
having dialogue. She was talking to me through my phone. Shout out TikTok. She said, go into your federal aid page, download all of your documents, keep track of everything so that when they say, no, like this is not a thing, but this is what I signed, this is what I have. I don't know if that's going to work, but at least it gives me peace of mind that I did sign these papers. I have made payments. I have been working at my job for this many years. And I think it's bullshit that I paid to go to school so that I could give back and that I could teach. And I work really hard and I have all these student loans.
Yeah. And it's really annoying too that it's like you signed up for this program knowing that your loans would be forgiven and planning on that and planning financially for that to happen. And then it's if someone, because of political interest, political leanings, can change, that's not fair. And it's a federal program. It's not a state program. It's federal government.
It's the federal government. Yep, the federal government.
Looks like we have a problem.
So tune in a month. If I am crying, you know why.
Just like a side note, but I was talking to my family yesterday, and they made a big point about how our current chief man... I was going to say chief executive officer, but that's not at all what you call the president.
Yeah.
The fucking president.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
This is an explicit episode.
Yes. Donald Trump is doing a lot of things right now to scare people.
Yeah.
Because he wants people to be scared. That's how he like influences people, and that he wants to be in the media and doing this and all these things. And we have to just like, not give in to fear, because a lot of the things he says he wants to do, you actually can't do that. And he's just going to say it. And it's like, that's illegal.
You can't do that.
Yeah. So not falling victim to fear. Which
you know
is easier
who
said than
doesn't
done.
have the fear, and this has nothing to do with education? Elon Musk's son, X, who was in the room and said, you're not the president. That's who doesn't have the fear.
No, 100%.
And I digress. That's what I've got to say about that. Do you have your thorn?
And my thorn, I have thorns, and then I have more roses, and we have time, so we can go back. But I'll share my thorn first, because we're mad about Donald Trump and government. Teachers don't get paid enough. Like, we literally don't. And I saw this thing that was like, if you have to send out an email explaining who's going to cover you for your job for more than if planning for you being out takes more than half an hour, you're not getting paid enough. And I was like, teachers, if I do not show up, I have to write subplans that can take me hours to do. And I get in trouble if they're not perfect because other adults don't know how to handle my students. Yeah. I deserve to get paid more. And I'm really grateful for teachers unions because a lot of times teachers unions are able to negotiate contracts to get us paid more, and they've been putting in the work. I'll give them that. But it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We're raising the children of the next generation more than their parents are in some extent because we spend more time with them. Mm-hmm. And you aren't going to pay me a living wage? Interesting.
If I am sick and I am rocking like 102-degree fever, do you think those subplans are going to make sense?
No.
Do you think, and then, oh, I'm sorry, you are having a hard time logging into my computer to show Cars 2? Absolutely not. There needs to be a better vetting process for our subs.
Oh, 100%.
You need to pay me more, and you need to I need there to be something at my school that just handles subs for me.
Yeah.
And that's why I pay teachers for emergency sub plans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I spend more money.
Yeah. And then I get so mad when you get I actually don't get this feedback. So either my sub plans are good enough or I don't know, someone hasn't given this feedback, but I feel like it's given generally at my school. Make your sub plans better or more detailed. And I take that personally because I take everything personally. And I'm like, they're talking to me, but I don't think they are. But I'm also like, no, the adults that are in the classroom, they need to be able, if the sub plans are not detailed, they need to be able to handle the children in any way that works for them. And some subs do and are great. And they're like, you could not leave me any plans.
Your improv skills as a substitute teacher, and yes. I was a sub, your improv skills need to be up here, like Comedy Store worthy. You need to be able to get a game of Heads Up 7-Up going for 2 hours on end with some literature involved.
Yes.
We're reading.
There's a sub that when I was an administrator, he worked at our school. He was the local pastor.
I love that.
He was amazing.
I love that.
He was amazing, and he wouldn't follow sub plans. Which I didn't care. Like, also, he was mostly subbing for, like, 1st and 2nd grade, and it was the beginning of the year. They just really needed to sit in their seats. But, yeah. He was able to handle it. If he didn't have a sub plan, he would be like, oh, no, don't worry. We'll be fine. Oh. Okay, I'm going to share a couple more roses, specifically about summer saving and some more actionable things for the summer. I think neither one of us like to work summer school now.
I did my time.
But we both did.
I did my time.
I taught summer school for either 2 or 3 years. I don't remember which one. 2 or 3 years. You taught summer school for probably more than that.
I taught more than that. And the last year I taught summer school was the year that they did not place me at my middle school. It was the year that they placed me at an elementary school. And I had students between, was it 2nd and 4th grade special ed kids, and I had no support. People would come and be like, Daniella, you good? I'd be like, no, I'm not good. They'd be like, all right, bye.
Yeah, they'd be like, I'm just gonna close the door.
And we went to Tulum that summer, and I just remember being like, this is it. This is the last year. It was the last year.
Yeah.
I was disrespected.
Yeah.
That was it.
And that's the thing, too, is it sucks. Teaching summer school sucks. It sucks for you. The kids don't want to be there. But also, if you're early on in your career and you didn't get your summer saver together and you're having a hard time, you might just need to do it.
Oh, also, just to add, we used to get paid time and a half for summer school. No.
Now they're not doing that?
Now they're not doing that. There's no money. Oh, no.
Yeah, no, well, sorry. There's no teachers. Oh, no.
Nobody wants to do it
now.
I
won't do it no. But in some cases, it's worth it. And I've had really great gigs during summers. Because the way that our school does it, it's like really you're getting paid well for what you're doing. But sometimes you just have to do it. And oftentimes summer school is not the whole summer. So you can still go on vacation. And then also, if you don't want to teach summer school, but you still need to make some money in the summer, like looking into other things that you can do that are part-time, like tutoring. I taught swim lessons one summer, which was really great. But having those kind of side hustles for the summer are good, especially when you're first starting out, that allow you to enjoy your summer, but also still be making money so you're not just at home sad because you don't have any money to spend. And you probably should save more than like a normal paycheck for the summer.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, you're going to be out doing stuff more.
It's the summer.
Yeah.
However, we're lucky where we've had each other over the summers, but the average Joe who's not in education, they don't get summers off.
Yeah. And they can't traveling.
We be going to the beach on a Tuesday.
Yeah. But if you don't have any friends who are teachers, you can still go to the beach on
We'll
Tuesday.
be your friend.
Yeah. We'll be your friend. Any things you want to add about money?
I think teaching has taught me a lot of discipline when it comes to finances. I think it's caused me to have really difficult conversations. And something I learned is that it's not a sign of weakness when you need to ask for help with your finances. I had to ask my parents for help the first couple years where I was not doing well. I think when I started teaching, I was getting paid like $35,000.
Yeah, I was like 42 or something like that.
It was not good. And obviously we did our time and we are where we are now. Do I think I deserve to be paid more? 5,000%.
Yes.
Absolutely. I deserve to be paid more for the amount of effort, blood, sweat, and tears that we put into our jobs. But I'm grateful that there are plans in place to help teachers out. And like the student loan forgiveness, like the summer saver. And you have a lot more information on financial stuff than I do. But we learn as we go, and I'm going to open a high yield savings account.
Yes.
I'm going to do it.
Yes. We're going to do it today.
I'm going to organize my Google Drive, and by next week I will have organized my Google Drive and I will have a high yield savings account.
I love it. Yeah, I agree. I think it's really okay to not know a lot about personal finance because you're not taught it in school. And it's also good to know that like it is something that you can learn.
Yeah, it's not too late.
No, there's a podcast that I really like. I think it's called Love Your Life or Live Your Life Now. They used to be called the Girls Talk Money podcast. We'll link it in the show notes.
Yeah.
The same person who made my budget template. It's the same girl. Shout out, Erin. They have really approachable episodes about personal finance, and there's books that you can read, and you're not dumb for not knowing. It's okay.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's it. We got a tip?
Yeah. Don't forget to wash your hands because things are going around right now.
Yes, they are.
You don't want to be getting sick. My kids have been out for a week and a half at a time.
Yes.
And it's not good out there.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands, you filthy animal.
Yeah.
All right.
The end.
Bye.
Bye.